So we're sitting with James surrounded by the tools of his trade. Do you want to just walk us through what equipment you use, how you use it, what it's good for, and just show us some of the stuff that you do with it?
Okay. Well, we spend a lot of time in the dark, and this thing here is Russian high-tech. This is a night vision scope. It doesn't record anything, but it enables you to see in very low light. Speaking of seeing in the dark, this is a little Sony camera, and all of these Sony cameras have got this night vision capability. It's called Night Shot Plus, and what we've done is I've got a little Sony infrared illuminator, but I've boosted it up with a couple of set the flash off. Infrared torch set the flash off. It'll probably happen when I turn that on too. Isn't that interesting? I've got a couple of infrared torches on there and a little bracket which I beavered away in the garage and made with true Kiwi ingenuity.
So what's an infrared torch do?
Well, you can walk around in pitch darkness with this, and what it's doing is it's illuminating below the range of visible light. So you can walk around in total darkness, look at the screen of the camera and see where you're going. And I'm not sure, frankly, if infrared light's any better for spotting ghosts than visible light, but it's kind of, you see these things on TV, you know, it all goes dark and sort of green and grainy and it looks kind of creepy and it adds atmosphere. So yeah, it's seeing the dark equipment and I was quite proud of it. It's a good little device. This is a thermometer, it's a laser thermometer. The laser is actually just so you can, probably stuffing the camera there, the laser is just so you can tell what you're pointing it at, and it reads the surface temperature of whatever you pointed at.
So the theory being if there's something there may be a temperature difference.
Yes,
but
yes. Ghosts supposedly draw energy from their environment in the form of heat energy, which they use to materialise, which I haven't seen any actual evidence of that. It's just one of those ideas. Another type of thermometer that we use, this will actually measure the air temperature, and it's an electronic thermometer which responds very quickly. So if the air suddenly turns cold around me, this will tell you how cold it turns, or hot for that matter. This thing of the air, you get cold when you see a ghost, I think that may be a physiological reaction, but we don't really know. We've certainly had it happen a few times, but I don't know whether it's the actual air temperature going cold or whether it's a bodily reaction to fear. That's why you have a thermometer, I guess. It will also tell you if there's currents of cold or warm air moving around, and we expect in the Wellington Town Hall with the air conditioning and changing the temperature in the building, we will be able to use this to monitor temperature changes, for example, and see what's going on, because that could maybe cause things like doors to open and close and creaking sounds. Your classic piece of ghost hunting equipment is an electromagnetic field meter. It's not really ghost hunting equipment, it wasn't designed for that, but what it does do is it will tell you the magnitude of a magnetic field, and at the moment this thing is sitting here on about 1.2 milligauss. It's measuring something. It might be the oscilloscope behind me or the various lights that are on in the room that it's measuring. If I move it around, it's very sensitive. There was a theory that ghosts actually cause changes in the electromagnetic field. Well, again, we don't know if that's true, and we can't really test it because we can't produce a ghost to test it with. But what we can do with one of these meters is determine if there are high levels of electromagnetic fields in an environment, and those fields can actually cause people to react in slightly strange ways.
So will you do a background reading of the environment you go into first?
Yeah, that's one of the first things we will do. We'll go around the building, we'll be taking EMF readings, temperature readings, we'll take a lot of photographs, that kind of thing, and we'll just get some baseline readings. Now they may change later if electrical things are turned off in the building. It'll certainly pick up air conditioning motors, fridges and things like that running. And yeah, that may change later at night. But we want to know where the electromagnetic hotspots are in the building. And being a theatre type building, there will be some, because that's what we usually find in that type of building. Some areas of very strong EMF. One building had kind of tin sheet, which I think was acting a little bit like a capacitor and storing static charge, and that could have had a strange effect on a number of things. The oscilloscope, that can be used to read a number of different things depending on what you plug into it. At the moment, it's got a little seismographic sensor plugged into it, which is very sensitive, and it's picking up the vibration of an air pump which is working out the back of the building, which is extracting air from someone's kitchen, extracting fat from someone's kitchen, and the vibration that the air pump's making is getting picked up. If I tap the table, stamp my foot, the oscilloscope picks it up. We'll be using that in the building to identify any vibrations and try and measure them. We can also use it as a more accurate electromagnetic field measure or subsonic or ultrasonic sound, depending on what we plug into it. And you can get quite, you can work out what the frequency and amplitude of the wave is that you're picking up on.
What else? Anything else?
Oh, we've got some simple stuff. Compasses, a mercury thermometer. We're kind of a little bit old school, you know, not everything's high tech. There's stuff in here which people used for ghost hunting, if you like, last century. One thing, trigger objects. Now there's a whole collection of little things in here, little metal things, little glass things. That's off a bit of old gold miners' equipment. It's a little hoop that would have gone on a wooden handle or something like that. Pick that up in Otago. What we do, the classic test for poltergeist activity, is to put these things in a place, hoping that they might be attractive to your poltergeist, and you mark where they sit, and you train a camera on them, and you close the room off so that nobody messes about with them, and you come back later and see if they've moved. We have tried that a couple of times in places where there's been reports of things moving from one place to another. We've placed objects that we think might be attractive to whatever it is that's moving things, and see if they move. It hasn't actually happened yet, but it's something we can do, and we'll be doing that at the town hall as well.
Cool.